be here. I imagine that's just what your life is like these days, wherever you go. People cheering, applauding.
No, but, you know, I just had the thrill, almost the thrill of my life. I just met Mick from The Clash backstage.
Mick Jones is here, yes. You had never met before.
No, I'm not very rock and roll, you know. So, you know, it was
That's not true. That's not... Well, first of all...
I was very excited.
Yeah, well, I tricked him into playing one of my guitars backstage, and now I can sell it on eBay. So much to talk about. I have not... The last time you were here, you had just begun your promotional, you know, campaign.
I was promoting the Queen, wasn't
for the
I?
Queen, but you had not won your Oscar yet, so congratulations.
Thank you.
That was a thrilling moment. For people watching it, I imagine for you.
Oh. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a moment when sort of life stood still, really, for that second. It's very strange when the... and I've been there a couple of times. They open the envelope and, oh, it's not me.
Right.
Let's go for a drink, you know. And this time...
It's bad when you do that instantly, though.
Yes.
It's bad when you stand up. Or take out a flask right there and start. It's not good.
So that was a great moment, yeah.
I would think so. And now, you know, this book, In the Frame, and this is your life in words, but also pictures.
Not my whole life, I might say.
No, not your whole life.
I kept a little bit back for later.
Yes, that's good. That's good, because there's
a
lot more to come. But one of the things I loved, and I don't want this to make me sound stupid, but there's a lot of pictures here, which are, you know, and words are hard.
Words are hard.
But striking pictures.
And I always go for the pictures when I look at a biography or an autobiography. I go straight for the pictures. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a book with a whole load of pictures in. And
you are so open about your life here. You're obviously very comfortable just sharing everything that's happened.
Well, no, I keep a few secrets back. As I say, I haven't totally dished the dirt. There's more to come.
There's more to come.
Volume 2, yeah. That's quite a lot of it in there.
Well, there are things in here that I'd be nervous about if I were in the same situation. You talk a little bit about your parents' sex life, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's just... my mind explodes at the very concept.
Is it weird that people hate to think of their parents having sex?
I don't think that's weird at all. I think that's healthy. I think it's weird if they think about it too much.
Darling,
yes.
I have something to tell you.
Yes.
That's how you got here.
No! No! It was a rabbit.
Just think about it.
It was a magical rabbit, I'm told.
Yes, with what? The rabbit and
It's
what?
a wand, and there's a fairy, and there's a cabbage patch. I don't want to get into the whole thing. It was all explained to me when I was 38. But you talk in this book, it's amazing. You were in the movie Caligula, which is one of the
more disgusting films ever made.
Sexually, wow, out there movies. And the sets, I remembered, were very sexual,
very
everything about it. And you invited your mom to visit you on the set of Caligula.
Well, I always took my mom, whenever I went on location anywhere, I took my mom. Because she'd never travelled, you know. She was a working class girl from London, and she always dreamed to travel. So when I finally did start travelling, making movies, I would always bring my mum on set. So, you know, Caligula was made in Rome, in Italy, so I very much wanted her to visit. I had a nice apartment, she could stay with me. And also my mum was so cool because she would just sit and chat to anyone on the set, whatever set it was on. And, you know, on Caligula, there she was sort of sitting between two enormous golden phalluses, you know, on her, and chatting, and no one on Caligula ever wore clothes, you know. It was like weird if someone came on set wearing anything. So she'd sit chatting away to a naked extra, you know. You know, what do you do?
Yeah.
On the set
Have you tried clothing?
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool.
She was very good, very cool for a sort of basically an uncool woman who, you know, wasn't a sort of sophisticated woman really, but
it must have, in this book, you talk about how much you travel, you've been all over the world countless times, you've had all these adventures. I think it's neat that you would include your mom like that in these adventures.
Yeah, well, as I say, she'd always dreamt of traveling, so it was great to give her that opportunity.
We have photos. I just want to show a few pictures from the book, and there's all kinds of photos in here, so we can't even do justice. Some very sexy photographs here. I hope you don't mind us showing them. Here you are. And I love this photograph.
Oh, right,
and I would... Gentlemen, please. Was this for a magazine?
No. I lived with a very good photographer called James Wedge for 4 years, and we did a lot of sort of private erotic work together.
Oh,
And,
that wasn't even for a magazine. That was just...
No, they were not
let's
for
do
magazines.
that. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Sure.
Why don't I wear a bustier
Yeah.
and black stockings and, you
Yeah.
know.
It's raining out. Let's do this.
No, we did, and some of our work together is in the book. He's a wonderful photographer.
We have a picture here. This is actually your mom is visiting you here, and what we noticed is in the background, I'm pretty sure that's a certain kind of plant that's growing.
Just behind my dad. I know.
Your mom, you keep saying she's not cool. She is the coolest mom. Your pot plant needs more water there.
No, she had no idea. And she's a gardener, you know,
Yes.
she loved to garden, but she had...
She has a green thumb, I tell you, yeah.
She had absolutely no idea what that plant... What is that plant, darling?
Oh, we won't talk
you
about
know,
it.
I've never seen that one before. What is it? Oh, it's a kind of geranium, Mum, yes. Oh, does it flower? No, not normally. But...
Can we smoke it? Mama, please. And then in a similar vein, you took a photograph, very uninhibited. This is, I think, you experimenting with LSD. And this is a photograph that someone took, maybe...
You're so sex, drugs, and rock and roll, aren't you? I mean,
seemed
you
like
go
the proper
straight
way.
for that.
Yeah, that's me all over, yeah.
Yes.
There are nice pictures of trees in here, but I thought no one wants to see that.
Yes, it was the very beginning of the one and only acid trip I ever took, which was absolutely fantastic, I have to say. No, don't.
But you know what? That's what I look
do
like
it.
after a big meal, so it's the same. Pretty much has the same value as a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes. Anyway, so it was wonderful, but never again. Only that one time.
Right.
Too extreme.
Yeah.
Just really too much.
I have to ask you about this. I know that there's so many fantastic stories about your life in the theater, experimental theater, and you have great stories about being in the West End of London. And of course, things change and things become more gentrified and fancy. But we're talking about the times when the West End of London was a dodgy place.
Oh my God, it still is.
It still is.
I don't know if you've been there on Saturday night recently. I mean, it's a wild, place, the West End. No, you're often doing, you know, I was doing Chekhov, and you know, all the football supporters would be outside going, Arsenal, 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 you know, into 19th century Russia. But I had some great experiences.
So you're
in
trying
the
to do a
theatre.
period play in 19th century Russia, and you're trying to do this, you know, this classic work, and then outside it's the 1960s and all hell is breaking loose.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. You know, I did a play about the rock and roll business called Teeth and Smiles, written by David Hare, and I was playing sort of Janis Joplin character. And I'm a terrible singer. I can't sing at all. So that was a bit of a, you know, dodgy thing for me, singing on stage. But anyway, I'm about to go on for my last entrance. And I hear this, and my dressing room overlooks the back alley where the stage door is. I hear this incredible crashing and banging and noise and everything. And I hope Mick's listening to this because he'll appreciate it. And I look out the back, and that's where all the trash cans are. And there, climbing out of one of the trash cans, is this completely drunken guy, totally as we say in England. And
I like it.
and covered now in trash, and he's got a pinstripe suit on and a complete madman. So I think, oh, you know, some drunk, as usual, Saturday night in London. So I go waiting to go on for my last entrance, and then I hear the crashing and the banging coming in through the stage door, and I think, oh my God, he's broken into the theatre. And then I hear the crashing and the banging coming up the stairs outside my dressing room. And then the crashing and the banging stops right outside my dressing room, and I bang, 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 Ellen! Ellen! Come out, Ellen! And I open the door, and it's Keith Moon, the drummer.
Keith Moon?
Keith Moon.
The insane Who drummer, Keith Moon. Yeah.
Wonderful.
My childhood hero. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Standing there, and he was the man in the trash can. You know? And I go, oh, he said, hello, darling. I hear you're fantastic in this play. I said, oh, hello, Keith. It's really nice to meet you. I'm very honoured. You know, thank you for coming to visit. Yeah, that's all right, darling. So, and I said, I've got to leave you now because I've got to go on stage. He said, don't worry, I'll come with you.
This is great. This would be amazing.
I know.
It'll take some explaining in this play,
no,
yeah.
No, Keith, no, you stay here. No, it's all right, I'll come and play in your band. It'll be good, you know. And I'm so idiotic. This is why I say I'm not rock and roll.
Right.
If I was rock and roll, I'd say, yeah, come on, man, it'd be fantastic.
Right, just be historic, yeah.
Instead, I went, oh, no, you can't. It's a theatre. We don't do that sort of thing, you know. And one of my great regrets is not having appeared on stage with Keith Moon.
Yes.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, we're out of time, which is always a shame because I could talk to you for 9 hours, and I hope to do that someday when I break into your home. In the Frame, Helen Mirren, My Life in Words and Pictures is available. It's really a fantastic book. It is such a thrill for me when you stop by. Thank you so much. Really an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Helen Mirren, everybody. We'll be right back.